Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations. I don't know about you, but I'm breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw. Today's January 27th, 2026. We're going to start off the show with 2 cards for you now and 2 for later, 2 for here and 2 to go. Then I'm going to share another podcaster's video with the group because yesterday we were talking about how internet tarot card throwers are dangerous when we are in our YouTube trance and we're studying videos and we're scrolling and we open ourselves up to programming. And that's the only dangerous part, right? Because we like to tune into people who pump us up and make us think in a positive way and help us get aligned with our soul's path. Thanks for joining me here at STARCARD Podcast. We're all trying to do the best we can. All right, so I'll be sharing another podcaster's video with the group related to what we talked about yesterday. And then I have more notes. Oh, wait a second. Time out. Oh, that's right. Hey, everybody. Yesterday, I posed another question. You know, a lot of these podcasters, these tarot throwers and such on the internet, they all like to predict that people are going to become globally famous, worldwide celebrity. And mathematically, it didn't seem to add up to me until I put 2 and 2 together, and I can't wait to share what I discovered just by thinking about things. Obviously, some people are way ahead of me on this. But anyway, and then finally, the second part of the show, which should be in about 30 minutes, the second part of the show is tarot for the audience. If you're tuning in live and you would like a reading at the second part of the show in about a half an hour, please type in the chat, tarot please, in all capital letters. Check out my notes so you can see which decks are available. But hey, everybody, let's get ready because I got 2 cards for you for right now and 2 cards you could take with you for later when you need them. And whether you're tuning in live or just catching this recording from your own time bubble sometime in the future, the tarot world wanted you to see this message. So let's go to the tarot cam. Here we go. One moment, please. All right. So we're going to start out with 2 cards for now and 2 cards for later. We're going to go with the Robin Wood deck. And you might notice that we have a little daylight out where I am. And so I don't have to fiddle so much with a couple of lamps. Let's see, where is this darkness coming from? Let's give that a try. What about this? Oh, it's even better, isn't it? All right, everybody, here we go. I want to say good morning to all the people in the chat. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's get things going. 2 cards for now, 2 cards for later. 2 cartas para aquí, 2 para llevar, por favor. Gracias, Tarot World. Here we go. These cards for everyone tuning in. 2 cards for now, 2 cards for later. Whoa, something's happening there. Two cards for now, 2 cards for later. And did we get a card that flipped over? Did some card get uncovered? No? Okay. Here we go. All right. It's all for entertainment purposes only. And if you're tuning in, I hope you're having fun. I know I am. Here we go. 2 cards for now. Ouch. Hey, everybody. This seems like an urgent message to me. We have the Devil card and the 8 of Cups. The Devil card says, let it go. Your darker self is involved with that. And the 8 of Cups says, walk away. All right. So, I think I'm supposed to, where are we? Here we go. I think I'm supposed to cover up. Sorry about that, everybody. I like to be modest. Anyway, so apparently there's something that we got to let go and we need to walk away from. And it's probably a good thing because the tarot world sees it. That's what's going to happen. And you know what? Maybe just the fact that you're letting go of something and walking away, that should be like reassurance from the tarot world that it's like meant to happen. It's part of the plan now Okay. You manifested this situation. You don't need to stay in that situation anymore, whether it's a mental or a physical or whatever, right? You can walk away. You can let it go. That's like good news. Anybody want to have the same thing forever and ever? You know, a little variety is good, especially if it's not working out anymore. Did you outgrow it? Did you outgrow it? Has it run its course? It's time to let it go and walk away. All right. And now I can't imagine these cards being any darker than these. These can only be brighter because we did all the hard work right here. These cards have to be pretty inspiring. Bam. Okay. So we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. I'm going to read to you about the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. And I think we see two ends of the spectrum. What we see is something's run its course, time to walk away. And then the universe is giving you a new lease on life, and you're going to have divine happiness and domestic bliss. Again, let's go to the book and hear about the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles, the time is coming for you to manifest your goals, achieve your dreams, and realize your potential. Financial new beginnings, career or business opportunities, investments, savings, prosperity, and manifestation are coming your way. Nice. And then the Ten of Pentacles reads, you have created wealth, financial security, and long-term success. You have built solid foundations and security and now feel happiness in all areas of life. You may have domestic bliss, a lasting career, or a business empire, or you may have reached relationship milestones and may be settling down. 4 cards, 2 chapters, total Hallmark movie plot, right? We let it go. We got a new lease on life, everybody. That's a good message anytime. Thanks a lot, Tarot World. I know that sometimes, or if not all these times, your messages are aimed particularly for me as well. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for making me look good. All right, so I give these cards a toss. I want to adjust my camera just a little bit here. All right, and now we're going to come back upstairs. Hey, everybody. All right. So I want to tell you again that if you would like to request a tarot reading for the second part of the show, please type in all capital letters, tarot please, in the chat. I'm going to check in about 25, 30 minutes. And now I want to refer everyone's attention to the description, which, you know, they only let you have like 5,000 characters in the description when you go live on these videos. So it's very carefully measured, every little letter. And I pack a lot of information into the description. Well, today, a featured video is from someone called Margot Elise Miller. And I believe she also has another channel called Her Unapologetic Self. But I think you're better off looking up her name. And I did spell it correctly. I think I even tagged her today. I don't know her, but I want to share with everyone a video. And I think I can do that. Like, I know sometimes I have difficulty sharing, but I think because I'm showing you something else from the same platform, I should be able to share a quick video from this inspiring person. Like, I'll just very quickly say the words that drew my attention to her were old soul, right? Like, if you've been around StarCard Podcast, you know, Breakaway Ray believes he's probably an old soul. So that's how I've, you know, got drawn to check out her content. But let me double check my notes because I want to go in order, everybody. You know, I like to keep things organized to save time. Let me make sure. Okay. All right. So I am going to show that video. And then besides that, I also want to mention in the description, there's a little payment button called Breakaway Pay. And it goes to my corporation called Grace Magic Life. And I'm not charging anyone anything, but I do want to mention it because some people have asked, you know, where's your pay button, Ray? I want to donate. And so I want to let you know that it's available in the description. It's also available at the StarCard Podcast homepage. You go to the description there and you click on the links and you'll see links to the 2 books I published over my shoulder over there. Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray and the Convoluted Autobiography. And then you'll also see the Breakaway Pay button. So now I want to pay a special compliment to my very first donor. So I've only been throwing cards since March, and I've only been on the internet thanks to Rob Khalil at the Typical Skeptic podcast, who has a playlist at StarCard Podcast. I've only been showing up on camera since July 4th, 2024. But I got my first donation yesterday, and I want to say congratulations and thank you to Kimberly Bamford. She cut right to the front of the line and slam dunked a nice donation into my piggy bank. I want to say every little bit helps. But obviously, everybody, we're here for the energy exchange, but no doubt about it, money counts. These donations are going to help pay for the subscriptions because you have to subscribe to the word processing. There's a way to get you have to pay for the hardware. I don't have to use a pay for subscription writing service, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to, be so technically astute as to pull all these things down. I'm working on it. There's a lot of things to do, right? I'm not even employed. I don't even have a job. And there's so much to learn, even in the time that I have. So I just want to say thanks again. Maybe it buys me a juice at my favorite juice place. Maybe it helps me with my gas. Every little bit helps. I know everyone knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, believe it or not, it makes me feel good to, be welcomed into your home. I don't take it for granted. And, I get to have fun, like we're hanging out together. And it's like an energy exchange that way. When I used to work in the classroom for 3.5 decades there, I worked with children, small children, for 40 years. It was never about the paycheck. When I was working at summer camp, I'd hardly notice getting paid at all. It was was not much pay at all. Not to get into it. Okay. And then as a teacher, I've heard other teachers mention this. You go in, you do what you're supposed to do, and then magically at the end of the month, your bank account is replenished. And as long as you're smart with your money and you balance your budget, you could go a long time and not have to worry about putting food on the table. Thank you again, Kimberly Bamford. I also want to say, Kimberly, you beat Psychic Liz Cross to the punch. Psychic Liz Cross, again, she has a playlist at StarCard Podcast. And one of the videos is a Psychic Liz Cross appears videos, but she only appears in the chat. And I think that's the one. It's just a live tarot throw. And, it's got a lot of views compared to the other ones because Psychic Liz Cross, her name brings about 300 or 400 people all at the same time. So anyway, you'll see her in the chat and she's like asking, where's your payment button, Breakaway Ray? I'm all, I don't have one yet. So, hey, Psychic Liz Cross, if you're watching, I got one now. All right. So I want to thank Psychic Liz Cross for her support. I don't even think I'd be doing this right now. If I hadn't interviewed with Psychic Liz Cross and she gave me some pointers, probably, from my spirit guides and the universe. Anyway, let's move on. Breakaway Ray. All right. So now, appearances are so important on the internet. And, I dress up every time I turn on the camera, right? Today, I want to say, things are even nicer. You can even see how carefully I decorate the studio here at StarCard Podcast because we have a little daylight and I'm not fighting insomnia like I normally am, right? But anyway, there's a lot of people on the internet, even when I'm scrolling around or whatever, I'm all, I might be able to watch this person just because, they're presentable. Sometimes it wouldn't matter what the content is, if it's a hard thing for me to to look at the person speaking for very long. And I don't mean I don't mean to denigrate anybody. Everyone's doing the best that they can, but I do like to tease the people who, I go to all this trouble to do all this and they're sitting in their car with a t-shirt on and they haven't combed their hair. And somehow, they get thousands and thousands of views. It's awesome. Good for them. More power to them. Everyone's to each their own. Again, I'm not even worried about views. I'm leaving that up to the universe. Does the universe really want people to hear my voice? They'll figure it out then. Okay. I'm not worried about getting popular. I'm just worried about what I say when I'm on the camera. All right. So I'm going to backtrack in time now because I want to disqualify my eyeballs. So let me tell one more quick anecdote. So one of my brother's friends, unfortunately, she hurt her arm and her shoulder. She was messing around with her kid and she hurt herself. And it was very unfortunate. She had a long healing process to go through, bones, muscles, whatever, and big old cast on her arm. I felt very bad for her, but I went over to my brother's house and she was there. And She was checking out a YouTube video, and she was watching a man, and he had, I'm not being facetious. I'm not making fun. I'm actually paying him a compliment. He had long flowing brown hair, and he was quite striking. I mean, he kind of looked like that guy that plays Aquaman, but maybe like 40 pounds, Oh no, are you still there? It looks like I lost some picture here. Hang on, everybody. What's going on? What happened? Okay. I don't know why my screen just cut out. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, this gentleman, I listened a little bit while my friend was recovering and she was watching. Again, I don't know why my screen cut out just a bit. I'm glad we're back. Okay. So me and this friend of my brother, she's hurt, bad arm, watching handsome hunk talking about using your mind to heal. And I'm all, you know what? That guy's got a lot of good things to say. But then I also said to her, you know what? That's not the guy I would be watching to do the same thing. If it was me, I might be watching a lady. That might be easier for me to look at. I don't need to look at some other handsome guy. There's enough competition as it is. Okay. So anyway, just showing you a little difference there. Right now, we're going to back up in time to early 1995, I think it is. And I was hanging out with my buddies from high school. We graduated in the 80s. So we're in the 1990s now. We graduated from high school. I'm a young adult. I just turned 30, as a matter of fact. Or I'm about to turn 30. I'm about to turn 30 years old. So I'm like 29 years old. He's 28 years old. I think he's actually my age. So anyway, my friend and I were talking, and I like to, as you would with your friends, I share my values with my friends. And a lot of times my friends are all, yo, Breakaway Ray, you're quite a catch. How come you're not married yet? Blah, blah, blah. What's going on? And I want to share, my hopes and aspirations because, maybe this friend or somebody else has a connection for me. This friend of mine has connections and he's associated with a lot of people. So anyway, I shared with him, which is like a dream of mine from when I was growing up, right? Oftentimes here on STARCARD podcast, I've bragged about my Italian grandmothers, and hardly anything made me ever feel as good in my childhood as being at my grandmother's house, with my grandfathers, or especially on my one grandfather's farm when they had the bocce court and there was a swimming pool there out in Connecticut. He's a hardworking construction worker, but, typical of, the kind of thing that I model myself after, little by little, day by day, saving their pennies. They built things up so they could have a 10 of pentacles, right? Domestic bliss and a smooth retirement to enjoy their grandchildren. So, and another thing I liked about that is that I can trace my heritage back to Italy, to a town called Castelvettere sul Calore. It's in the south of Italy. And I'm thinking to myself, it must be my destiny. I'm the firstborn on my mom is firstborn. My dad was firstborn. And they are children of firstborns as well. And, those firstborns all came from Italy. So I'm thinking to myself, I have to meet a nice Italian girl. I need to meet a nice Italian girl. It's probably what's going to happen. And then, we're going to have children. And then eventually we have grandchildren. And I'm like a cookie cutter cut out of my grandparents at that point. That would be awesome. So anyway, my friend knows this story, and he quipped, he returned, he volleyed back this nice line, which for 30 years makes me laugh. And he said, hey, Ray, there's one thing I can tell you about the woman that you're going to marry. She's not going to be a blonde. Okay, so anyway, that's where I'm coming from. And if it matters at all, it really doesn't matter. I don't have a relationship right now. And most of the ladies I've dated, when I have dated, they were of many different varieties, right? It wasn't just the white ladies. So anyway, back to my show. What I'm trying to say is, when I looked at Margot Elise Miller, as I'm about to share with you if I can, okay, it wasn't because she's a blonde lady. I know that that's like the standard for beauty in some population, some parts of our country, certainly. You could go back to Farrah Fawcett, and then you could think of how many blonde ladies on TV are all catapulted because they have blonde hair. A lot of people choose to have blonde hair. Blonde hair, okay, great. That's great for lots of people. And in lots of ways, it looks good on people. I'm not complaining. If I had no hair, if my hair was blonde, what it would matter? I colored my hair once. What's the big deal? It's not a big deal. What I'm trying to say is, I was drawn to this lady because of what she said. Because when you scroll through, there's all kinds of beautiful faces on the internet, isn't there? And you know what? When this lady was talking about old souls, I'm all, I don't waste my time. I don't listen to anybody. I want to hear what this lady had to say. And then she kept on feeding me. So I think that the message that she sends would quote unquote resonate with people at StarCard Podcast, particularly the ladies in the audience, because I believe that there's at least 2 people that I know of that are launching their own podcasts. And if they haven't discovered her, let Margot Elise Miller pump you up and tell you how awesome you are and explain where all the trauma came from. She explained something called upfronting karma. Like when you plan your life, you say, you know what? Let me get all the garbage out of the way. Okay. Hit me with everything I'm supposed to get in my lifetime, but do it first. So like later on, it's not so bad. And not only that, by the way, when you go through this test that you set up for yourself, okay, it prepares you for that second part of your life where you can relax and also maybe be like a face on camera that millions of people around the world see. So I'm going to see now if I can figure out how to share this quick video with you. It's a very quick video. I did put a link in the description, and I want to compliment this lady. I'll have to give you a little bit more background about her. Apparently, she was in rehab for alcoholism before she was 21 years old. In the United States, you're not allowed to drink until you're 21 years old. She's had health problems. She's been destitute. She's really hit the bottom. And now, as she mentions in a lot of her videos, she is slingshotting upward because of all the lessons that she's learned. So let's see if I can share this quick Margot Elise Miller video with you. Let me check out my controls here. Here we go. Oh, I think I'm getting it. Yeah, I think I found it. All right, everybody. Here we go.
Match to your soulmate. Old souls often meet their partners later in life because they spend their younger years seeking out validation, which is actually a spiritual setup to burn off karmic contracts. As an advanced soul, your curriculum is all about unlearning codependency, people pleasing, and the need to be chosen. And that's why the validation you were seeking wasn't some superficial thing to feed your ego. It was all about your unconscious trying to heal your childhood wounds. Because our psyche is designed to seek out the most challenging people and try to get love from them as a way to heal our unworthiness wounds. Problem is, when we seek out partnership or relationships from a wound, we attract the most narcissistic, sociopathic, avoidant people because old souls are the most neglected and abandoned early on. And when we're operating out of our survival selves, getting attention, even if it's bad, will feel better than nothing. And it's through these toxic relationships that we end up coming home to ourselves. And that's why getting less attention is feedback that you're actually experiencing more wholeness. Not just going out on random dates to fill the time. You're not swiping through apps because you're bored with your life. You're done with the toxic dopamine hit from the breadcrumbs because you're too busy pouring into your purpose and your empire. So if you're looking at life as crickets, you're not getting texts, you're not getting phone calls, that means you're no longer bending over backwards to be liked. You're officially unwilling to abandon yourself for anyone or anything. That is when your energy shifts from wound mate to soulmate. Therefore, the less attention you're getting, the more you're ready to meet your most compatible soulmate, period. And if you want more support with this, comment the word masterclass below.
All right, I'm going to like that one. All right, everybody, I'm still trying to get my screen going here. Very interesting. Let me see if I can do this. There we are. Okay. I found my home screen, everybody. I hope you liked that video. And I want to also point out that Margot Elise Miller, her target audience is female. It really is female. And I keep tuning into her because of the old soul part and obviously the psychology she seems to understand. All right. So I'm glad I got that part out of the way. Now, continuing with a thread of thought from yesterday. So yesterday I shared that, I also tune into people to pump myself up, to make me think in a positive way. I even emulated the way one of the tarot card throwers I watch throws cards, where she holds up the cards and just kind of whips them out, not like in the systematic way I do, right? So anyway, I was mentioning that that particular person who does channel, she keeps on saying, this message is for one person, but you're going to be globally famous, and it didn't make sense. All right, but check this out. So now I'm going to go all the way back to March of 2025. And it was the afternoon before I was going to go on the Typical Skeptic podcast and throw tarot cards for the first time. And, it wasn't March. I believe it was May. Anyway, it was spring of 2025. Spring of 2025, I'm at my other brother's house. My brother has a wife, and she's from Brazil. And her mother, my brother's mother-in-law, is in from Brazil, and she's visiting here in California. That's awesome. Again, I keep telling my brother's kids, how awesome their grandma is to come from another continent to come see them. She doesn't even speak English. All right, but that's where we're going here. So I was about to go. Okay, I'm getting my story confused. You know about my brother's mother-in-law from Brazil, right? So before I was going to go on Rob's show last spring, I was with my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law was talking to her mother on the phone. They were FaceTiming, and they were speaking Portuguese, and they invited me to throw some tarot cards. And so the very first person I threw tarot cards for didn't speak English, and she was on another continent. She was in South America. That was the very first one. Now, I mention that because there's a direct tie to what I'm talking about. So my brother's mother-in-law had come out from Brazil for this past Christmas holiday. And again, talking her up, awesome grandma, coming from another continent to hang out with her grandkids. It's so great. By the way, I think she's going to see this video, and she's going to know, what a hero I'm making her out to be, because she is. So anyway, thank you, Maria. So anyway, I was telling Maria about the STARCARD podcast, and she said, I would like to see your podcast. I go, it's in English. And then I thought, once you get your iPad, everything is in Portuguese. Maybe there's a way we can get at least the subtitles. But it got better because she clicked on the video of one of my shows with Rob, and it was auto-dubbed in Portuguese. Here's where it gets crazy, everybody. Okay, it was auto-dubbed in Portuguese. So I'm listening and watching with her to me and Rob, and it was Breakaway Ray Gives Thanks. It was the one from November. It was one with my little my little craft of the turkey in it. Anyway, I hear my voice. I hear the emotions I was using when I was reading my speech and presenting, and yet I didn't understand a thing I was saying. It was all in Portuguese. It was crazy. So anyway, and then I got another email just this past week. YouTube says they're going to be automatically auto-dubbing all the videos, so that means anyone could click on a video. This isn't, by the way, this auto-dubbing, this is not like what they did when they dubbed in the olden days. Remember the old Godzilla movies where the actors and actresses would be saying one thing in Japanese, and then some American actor would have to, speak in English while their lips are moving in a different way. This is not that at all. I don't know. I couldn't tell if my lips were speaking Portuguese or not, but they definitely had the voice down. That's like an impossible thing to do. Obviously, that's the advancements of technology. All right. So now I have some related things to that whole idea. But before I leave that idea, think about it, everybody. Someone could click on STARCARD podcast anywhere on the planet, more than 200 languages out there, all kinds of dialects, and they could hear what Breakaway Ray has to say, within 24 hours easy of me posting it. Think of how fast information flows at that point. I also want to say, in that sense, it's a very artificial form of the Akashic record. It's very, mechanical, steampunk-like thing. You have to pull this lever, press this button, click on this window, and then you can hear Breakaway Ray in your own language. Whereas if you're really doing the Akashic record and you know how to open up the satellite inside your mind to receive messages and do information exchange, you don't have to do all that stuff. It's all mental, and it's more powerful, by the way. But it shows you how, that whole global information network, it still falls short of the Akashic record, but it's definitely being revved up. We're almost as good as the Mars net, right? Planet Mars. All right. So let me see what other related ideas I have to this whole auto-dubbing thing. But that's like an easy way for everyone to be famous, right? That answers my question from yesterday. You're going to be auto-dubbed around the planet. There's 8 billion people. You might get a couple of million clicks. Yeah. All right. So let's see what I got here. Yeah, solve that mystery. Right. Got that part done. Yeah, there's going to be a proliferation of worldwide celebrities. How about that? Everybody can be famous around the world. You don't have to wait. Let's see. Oh, okay. So here come my warnings. So some of you, this might jog your cinematic memory. Anyone remember The Running Man, the original one with Richard Dawson from The Family Feud? Okay. He was the host of the show, but it showed the protagonist, the hero. He was flying a helicopter, and they used some kind of programming to make him look like he was saying attack the public. Right? It was just a movie based on a very famous science fiction book, I think, The Running Man. But obviously, that showed the dangers of having technology that can create lifelike images like that. I know this is all the rage right now. Even on like major network news, they're talking about this stuff. Very clever propaganda. How about this? It happened recently in the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, didn't it? When they made it look like Peter Parker was ordering the execution of, again, the public. The computer changed things around, altered the truth to make someone look bad. That doesn't really emphasizes how we have to improve our discernment. We really have to wait and think and get a confirmation from our intuition before we agree with something that's true. And let me see if I've got another example here. Okay. All right. Well, we're talking about, fake voices and fake images, fake video images. I mean, there's even those 3D holograms. They're pretty close to the real performers. If you are familiar with what I'm talking about, I think they have 3D performers in venues in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then I asked this question. I was writing these notes yesterday. Am I supposed to trust some artificial intelligence is going to represent me authentically? When I can't get a straight answer from Google about what metempsychosis is, and Wikipedia keeps feeding us this garbage about how these old world buildings got there. Okay, am I really supposed to trust that an AI is going to take my image and likeness and my voice and represent me authentically? That's a good question, I think. And we're talking about voices and images. And there's some really advanced people out there who are familiar with Donald Marshall, for example, other secret space program experiencers, and they're thinking to themselves, hey, Breakaway Ray, don't forget, you could be cloned. You could be cloned. You're probably being cloned right now. Okay. Cloning is common. This is STARCARD podcast. This is for entertainment purposes only. If you're tuning in, I'm glad we're all having fun talking about the same stuff. Cloning has been around since the days of Atlantis. Over and over again, there's stories that come across my screen that talk about how cities have been repopulated. I mean, I could trace my family back a few generations to a particular town in Italy, but that's as far as I could go. And a lot of people can't trace their lineage back even 4 or 5 generations. Anyway, because of the records and coming out of the Dark Ages into the Renaissance or what have you. There's a lot of confusion out there, and a lot of it is almost irrelevant except to recognize it as cognitive dissonance. Okay, we have to start there. All right, so let me see if I got anything else there. No, I got it all covered. So we're going to go back down to the tarot table, and I'm going to invite the tarot world to comment on auto-dubbing. Let's see what I wrote here. It says, auto-dub, is it a Promethean tool of consciousness expansion? If you know the story of Prometheus, Prometheus is one of the Greek gods that gave humans fire. So is autodub like a Promethean tool where now we all have a communication? We can all communicate to each other, despite what the powers above us would want us to do, talk about things that they don't want us to talk about. They can't even control our communication because now everything's going to be auto-dubbed and our voices can be heard around the world in less than a day, probably. So we'll invite the tarot world to comment on the advance of that new technology. I didn't even get to talk about math. Anyway, that's all right. Let's talk about this because, yeah, the time is good. Let's go downstairs. All right. So welcome back. Autodub. Is it a Promethean tool of consciousness expansion? And if it is, thank you very much. This is what we're here for. I'm going to get the lights set up here. Oh, yeah, I want to go. All right. This deck is already out, so I'm just going to go. Here we go. Hey, everybody. You saw me cut the deck. Check it out. The Knight of Wands. All right, let's go right here. I ought to just stop right here. Okay, so I got the Knight of Wands here, which says to charge forward energetically, okay? And the Fool, which says it's a new beginning. So, here we are at the precipice of a new form of communication via Autodub, okay? And again, it's a new adventure. So we've already set the stage. We already know what the theme is. Let's give these cards a toss and ask for a little bit more message about Autodub. Promethean tool of consciousness expansion. That's too many syllables, Breakaway Ray. Autodub. Would you like to comment on this Promethean tool of consciousness expansion? So my eyes are closed. I realized a card fell out. Now I'm going to open my... Okay, here we go. Here's how the cards came out, everybody. First up, yay, the World card. The World card Here we go. All right. The World card. The World card talks about completion. This is the first card that dropped out. So, an old way of communication is over. She's so lovely. All right. Next. Wow. Check that out. It's the Death card. Beginnings, endings, transformation. The old world, the old style of communication is done. There's a change going on. And the Four of Swords talks about relaxation and meditation. I mean, it could be a message just to be cool. It could also be a reminder, don't forget to meditate and verify with the Akashic record and your instinct. That's never going to let you down. Okay. The Ten of Wands talks about a big burden. It talks about a lot of work. The Justice card shows up, talks about cause and effect and law and balance. And then, wow, the Ace of Wands talks about making magic happen. So the old style of communication is over and there's a change and we all need to pay attention to it and use our instinct to help us discern what's going on. It will be a lot of work, but there really is balance and justice in the end because this communication style is going to bring magic around the world. Thank you very much, Tarot World. Sweet. Let's give these cards a toss. And now we're ready for the second part of the show. Let's do some tarot for the audience. All right. I see that there's a fair amount of typing in the chat. And I am so grateful for all the participation. Wow. I do read the chat after the show. I'm just going to be scanning the chat, looking for our friends to see who wants a tarot reading here. First, I'm going to go through and say hi to people. So here I go. LM, hello. Good to double see you. All right. And then, yes, Andrea 54 Hector. Good to see you again. Thanks for dropping in. Let's see who else is here. Hi, Flix Love. Hi, Lisa Talcott. All right. Let's see. Judy, Mrs. NW5, hello. Hi, God's Flow. Good to see you. Let's see. God's Flow, I think I got that wrong. It's possible that gentleman I mentioned to you in an email, Arkeem Ra, I have his link in the description, but I think maybe that site got taken down. But if you look him up, if you use the name that I typed in the chat, you can easily find, well, he's kind of shadow banned, but you could find him eventually. He does have a prominent following and a great Patreon channel. So let me continue saying hi to people. Let's see who else is here. Kimberly Bamford. Hi, Kimberly. I hope you caught my thank you earlier. Thank you very much. Mariana Ivanisevic. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here at StarCard. Let's see who else is here. Hi, Arizona Raven. Good morning. I bet you got a lot of work done already by this time in the morning. Let me see. I'm just looking for new names. Okay, great. So I'm going to, I've got snow people in schoolhouses. So I'm going to pull out the ones with nameplates already. And then I'll get ready to throw. It's quite a pile. So, Arizona Raven. Lisa Talcott. Kimberly Bamford. Flix Love. God's Flow. Ellum. Judy. Okay, and I did see a new name. I think it was Mariana. I'd like to make one for you, Mariana, and I'm going to throw cards for you, Mariana, unless I see a message, not to. Anyway, let me make one for you. I got to track down your name again. Oh, is Danny here? Thanks, Looks Love. Is it Danny Hawk? Hi, Danny. You here? Hi, Danny. There you are, Mariana. Okay, and then did I miss somebody? There's Danny Hawk. Got it. All right. Danny, I don't know why I didn't see yours first. You did it all in capital letters. Good job, Danny. Let me get your, I think it's a snowman. Or is it a house? A schoolhouse? Isn't that just like a classroom? The one kid that follows directions is the last one the teacher pays attention to. There you go, Danny. Okay. And then I saw the Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot guys out there. Thanks for joining me. That's great. Good to see you guys. All right. Now I'm going to go through. Oh, Mrs. Okay, so Judy just wants one card. Got it. I see that message. And Danny does not mind any deck. That's fine. I think. Oh wait, someone else's capital letters here. Kimberly, neon deck. Okay. Let me get the neon deck out. Let me see my other messages. I see that Kimberly just got her own neon deck. That's awesome. Enjoy. Okay. I'm not sure I see too many other particular requests or modifications, but if your turn comes up and you stick something in the chat for me, I'm more likely to see it now. Like I say, there's a lot of writing. I'm going to start off by throwing one card for Judy. Right, and then we'll just take it from there. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everyone. Let's go back downstairs. Here we go. One card for Judy. I'm just cutting the deck to shuffle. These are nice cards, but that's not the card I'm going to throw for you there. Okay, one card for Judy. Here we go. Thank you very much for tuning in again, Judy. How about one fun card for Judy, please? All right. Here we go. Large and in charge. It's the Emperor card. All right. You're in control, Judy. Way to go. Nice, Tarot World. I love it. Okay. Next up, let's go to Kimberly with the Neon deck. All right. These cards are for Kimberly. Wow. Could we please have a fun, inspirational message for Kimberly? Thank you. These cards are for Kimberly Bamford. Whoops, I totally missed. These cards are for Kimberly Bamford. Thank you very much. Here we go. These cards for Kimberly. All right, Kimberly, here we go. Let's have another fun reading. Look at that light. What's going on? There we go. All right. First up, the Queen of Wands, determined, courageous. She has a zest for life. She also has a cat sitting at her feet. And that cat looks like it's protecting her. And maybe, we all know cats see spirits. That cat also sees what the Queen of Wands sees. You guys are looking at energies. Then the Three of Wands shows up. What a beautiful card. Did I pick the right deck? Is this the Neon deck? Oh, Kimberly, it happened. Isn't this like the second time? You asked for the Neon deck, and I got the colors and the ladies confused, and I just threw the stained glass deck. So you get the stained glass deck. I know you got your own Neon deck on the way. Anyway, let's see the rest of the message. They're still pretty cards. Sorry about my confusion. That is so funny. Jeez. I'm a mere mortal tarot card thrower. Three of Wands. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You and your cat, you see the energies playing out. And then the Three of Wands guy, he knows how to handle it because he's been here before. He knows how this game plays. And then the Ace of Wands shows up. We're going to go to the book to read about the Ace of Wands because you're making magic happen. The Ace of Wands, a new opportunity or idea with the potential to grow, is coming into your life. You have the creative spark and ambition needed to begin enterprises, to start a new passion, or pursue a new talent. You are enthusiastic for the new beginnings. I feel like this is a story. You and your spirit friends, your spirit guide, you all saw how the energies are playing out. You prepared for it. Now you're ready to make magic happen. And the Chariot card shows up and says, keep it going. Okay, you've got the momentum. And then again, how much magic do you want? Here's the Magician card. Wow. I mean, I realize it's a masculine figure, but it looks like, you're making all the magic happen. You've got all the magical tools. I mean, I know it's not the Neon deck, but what a fun read. I'd take that reading. All right. And then next we have the Four of Wands, which is the homecoming card. I know you want to see this. It's the homecoming card. It's a celebration card, dancing around the maypole. And then here we have a fully clothed woman on the world card. And that represents the end of the story. You've accomplished whatever you set out to do. That's why you were celebrating. Congratulations, Kimberly. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me to read. Oh, Ellum. Yes. Thank you, Ellum. You're right. I have your snowman still. Thanks for the reminder. I also saw Julia Anchorhaven, and maybe Julia wants a reading too. Yep, I see her message too. Okay, let me get the groups of snowmen out here. I missed Ellum. She was like the first person in the chat behind. Oh yeah, Hector, Andre Hector. I got a couple of people to do here. This lady was at the beginning of the chat even before I turned on the camera. I don't know if she's not there anymore, but I'm pretty sure she wants a reading. And then Julia wants one. Okay. And Julia, did you ask for a particular deck? I don't know. Okay. And then, I'm sorry, there was somebody else. Ellum. Hang on, Ellum. Yeah, I know I got you here. What? Ellum, looks like I had you in my pile. Great. All right. So I'm going to go with Mariana Ivanezovich. Maybe I said it right that time. Let's go with Mariana. I did see one message from her in the chat. And then I've got Andre 54 Hector, Julia, Ellum, God's Flow, Flix Love, Arizona Raven, Lisa Talcott, and Danny Hawk. Sweet. We'll get to everybody. I'm not going anywhere. We're doing good. Here we go. Let's throw some cards for Mariana. And you know what, Mariana? I'm feeling the groove with the stained glass, so let's go stained glass. Kimberly Bamford, thanks a lot for your feedback. I appreciate it very much. All right, and now here we go, Mariana. Thanks for tuning in. Terra World is welcoming you to the party. We got a special inspirational message for you. A positive, inspirational message for Mariana, please. Thanks for tuning in, Mariana. These cards are from Mariana. These cards are from Mariana. A fun, inspirational message from Mariana, please. All right, here we go, Mariana. It's all for entertainment purposes only. Let's have fun. Strength. That's great. You have the strength card. The strength card talks about power, influence. It also talks about being able to console those who are in grief. The Six of Cups talks about happy memories and nostalgia. Then the Ten of Cups talks about a dream come true. Wow. And then the Five of Swords shows up. I really like this card because it's very elegant. You see the man, he looks like he's on the water, and you do have 5 swords. 2 of them are swords that he is holding. It's very elegant. You don't see conflict with the 5 of Swords image here in the stained glass deck, but I'm going to read to you about the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords. This may be a demanding time of win-lose conflicts at work or in your relationship. The sense of defeat, surrender, competition, hostility, and even walking away or self-sabotage is in the air. You may need to take action to overcome being challenged by others, such as standing up for yourself. Should you find yourself in this situation, try to find common ground and focus on collaboration and mutual progress rather than competition. So it feels like the message so far is be strong. Don't forget who you are. You know, don't forget all the people who love you, all your friends and all your support system, because when challenging times come around, you know, you have a base that you can turn to for support. And then guess what? We talked about the support that you have here, on Earth, your friends, your family, your life, okay? That helps you get through all the challenges, whatever they are, even if these challenges are day in and day out and last a long time. And then check this out. You got the Six of Swords card. And the Six of Swords card says that you're being guided from rougher waters to calmer waters by a divine hand. So you have the support that, these are relationships that you've established, okay? And then don't forget the spirit world is also monitoring the situation and guiding you. And finally, we close with the Page of Wands and Justice. So the Justice card talks about balance and law and cause and effect. So it feels like something righteous is happening at the end. And then let's read what the Page of Wands says. I mean, not having read it yet, I'm wondering if you're going to get news that, unexpected news, something good happened that, feels right. Like this should have been happening in the first place. This was the right thing to happen anyway. So let's see what it says about the Page of Wands for you, Mariana. The Page of Wands, you feel fresh, cheerful, childlike, and full of energy. You are having bright ideas and new exciting plans. You are being creative, free-thinking, and fearless. You are finding your passion, making discoveries, investments, or advancements in life. Just be careful not to rush into things without considering the consequences. Okay, so you're back to being your old self, and it was the right thing to happen anyway. The spirit world was making sure of it. Thank you, Mariana, for inviting me to read. If you invited me to read, I hope it was a good message. All right, have a good day. And give these a toss. Oops. Hey, Salama is here. All right, hang on, everybody. I want to get Salama's snow person out. Well, I have quite a lot of students. This is starting to feel like a middle school class here. A lot of name tags to go through here. There's Salama. All right, Salama. I just bumped you to the front of the line, Salama. And let me get my other deck out. I'm allowed to say this out loud. I really am honored that people are tuning into my show, period. But then also to be asking me for tarot readings. I mean, most of you are psychic anyway. Thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate it. You're my knight in shining armor. All right, let's give these a toss and let's throw some cards for Salama. How many continents have we got going? I know we got at least 3 continents going. Cool. I don't know if we got anyone from down under. Chime in, Australia, New Zealand. Any anyone from the southern hemisphere down there? We already got Africa, Europe, and where's Asia lately? Anyway, let's go ahead and toss some cards for Salama. Here we go, Salama. Thanks for checking in. These cards are for Salama. The tarot world feels very familiar with Salama. So here's a continuing message, kind of like in the olden days when Charles Dickens would submit chapters of his story to the newspaper. Everyone would follow along. Here we go, Salama. It's for entertainment purposes only. Let's see what's going on. First, the 9 of Wands. Courage, persistence, test of faith, weary. Okay, he sounds like he's been through a lot, but again, I'd like to point out that he's like the third base coach. He's ready for management. He's been doing such a good job at, I don't know if you know baseball, by the way, but the third base coach, he used to play baseball, but now he doesn't play, but he does help the manager out, and he stands at third base, and he tells players when to run and when to stop because he could see the whole field. He's been around the game so long. He's got so many wands, so many tools he can use. And so really, there's team owners all ready. Like when the season's over, they're all, okay, we need to replace a manager. And you know what? I want the 9 of Wands guy to be my new manager. This guy knows what's going on. He's been around the block. He knows how to do it. Okay. Yeah. And the Ace of Swords shows up. Let's read about the Ace of Swords. Mental clarity, breakthroughs, new ideas, success, sharp mind. Next, yay, the Queen of Wands, courage, persistence, zest for life. What else we got out here? Courage, confident, independence, focused, zest for life, determination and joy. And I just want to say, referring again to Margot Elise Miller, I'm going to come upstairs for this part. I always interrupt myself when I read for Salama. So I just saw Margot Elise Miller. I saw another video from that lady, and she was talking about embodying the next person. So this message is for everybody, not just for Salama, but because the reading is going this way, I want to share this because I'm aiming to do this part too, right? So if you spend 51% of your time thinking and being and embodying the next you, then guess what? You've passed the tipping point. You know, I should be speaking to myself. If I spend too much time, more than half my time, caught up with the guy I was in the past, I'm never going to get out of that hole. I'm never going to crawl out of that grave and let the guy die. But that's my image, right? That's how I'm viewing myself. So anyway, let's go back downstairs. Here we go, Salama. The tarot world is trying its hardest to be positive, and you know it doesn't always match up with the things that we see down here. It feels like, you know, sometimes we're talking past each other, but let's hear what they have to say. They offer us another viewpoint. I just talked about, you know, crawling out of the grave and letting go the guy that I used to be. This is the devil card. This is the devil card that talks about letting go. And let's read what it says on the devil card. Shadow self, attachment, addiction, restriction, sexuality, temptation, seduction, destructive behavior, materialism, codependency, and toxicity. A lot of heavy words there, but what I want to say is, you know, we've got all this experience. We're totally clear on what's going on. We're courageous and determined and persistent. We're letting go of the past now. Talking to myself, I am a dangerous perseverator. You know, that's why, you know, I can't stop sometimes. And so I really also need this message about letting go for sure. You know, let go. And then guess what? You could gallop forward like the Knight of Swords here. And the Knight of Swords says ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, and defending beliefs. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to my spirit guides and said, you know, I can't do the job you want me to do if I'm still caught up with this stuff. So I need some help. That doesn't mean I'm approaching it the right way or did I spoke to my spirit guides that sternly. I'm just trying to summarize in a hurry. So, you know, we're in a situation. I'm in a situation, for example, this is a reading for Salama, where I've got all these tools and I've got mental clarity. I understand what's going on. I'm going to be persistent and I'm going to let it go so I can gallop forward. Here I go. Yay. Yeah. Okay. So the Six of Swords shows up. And the Six of Swords says that we're being guided from rougher waters to calmer waters by a divine hand. Let's read about the Six of Swords. It talks about basically, you know, you got a life plan. You may not know where the boat is going, but it doesn't matter. We're taking you there, says the spirit world. The Six of Swords, transition, change, leaving behind, releasing baggage, moving on. You're watching STARCARD Podcast. The Star Card, hope, calm, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, fortune, good omen, rejuvenation. And you know what? I don't know what this guy's showing up after that. You don't follow the star card with this unless you turn the Five of Swords upside down. Okay? Five of Swords reversed. Past resentment, desire to reconcile, making amends, desire to forgive. Let's turn that upside down for you, Salama. Thanks a lot for tuning in to STARCARD Podcast. I hope that was entertaining. All right, next. Hey, Andrea, 54 Hector. I'm so grateful that you tune in, and I'm going to throw a couple of cards for you here. I'm not sure if you're still in the house. I'm going to bust out 88 gemstones. Hey, Salama, you are welcome. I appreciate your comment. Thank you very much. Hey, Judy, I just saw your message, and thank you very much. Wow, I really appreciate your support, Judy. Thank you. And you're so supportive of each other, everybody out there in the chat. Thanks a lot. It's fun to hang out with you. So, could we please have a fun, inspirational message for Andrea 54 Hector? I'm going to throw 3 cards. Maybe she'll catch this recording, and she'll see her name on a schoolhouse. Here you go, Andrea 54 Hector. 1, 2, 3. Okay. First up, you got the Hierophant card, and he talks about acceptance by society and also learning. Wow. And then the Sun card. What a beautiful card. The Sun card says everything's going to be all right. Wow. Check that out. The Ace of Cups talks about marriage, proposal, abundance. How about that? Somewhere, somebody's learning that the world around us is groovy and wonderful and the sun is shining. And we got a fresh new start on life. I'm pretty sure it's all perspective, huh? All right. Hey, Andrea 54 Hector, thanks again for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that entertaining reading. Have a good day. Next up, LMAAB. I'm going to give these a toss. LMAAB usually has a particular question or request. I'm going to keep my eyes out for it. But I'm also going to get a new deck. The Ethereal Bloom Tarot. One of my favorite decks. All right. Ellen, I'm not sure. I know sometimes I miss your particular question. But the tarot world seems to know what's on your mind. So, by the way, I cut the deck and I got the King of Wands. He's the guy that overcomes all obstacles. All right, so now we're going to throw some cards for LMAAB. Thank you, Tarot World. I hope the Tarot World is having fun. You got customers out the door today. That's pretty awesome. So anyway, Tarot World, would you care to help LMAAB? One of her great throws filled with fun and positivity and introspection and studying the dynamics and events around her. Do we have a fun, inspirational message for LMAAB? Yeah, there's a different layout coming here. For LMAAB. All right. There's, I don't know, I was drawn to draw 2 pairs here like this. So let's see what this message is, shall we? Look at this. Lots of people are getting the Ace of Cups today. Let's read about the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups, a time of new beginnings and new relationships, usually in terms of love. You will be feeling happy, positive, and good about yourself. This is a time of joy, compassion, celebration, and creativity. Now is a good time to begin new friendships and get out there and socialize. All right. That sounds really good to me. I almost want to stop there, right, Ellen? But we got a whole bunch of messages here for you. The Wheel of Fortune. It talks about luck, good luck, bad luck, and also talks about, the wheel turning. Like if the wheel was going down for a little while, guess what? It's going to start swinging up. And likewise, if it was up for a little while, it might be swinging down. But you are being encouraged to get out there and socialize. Okay? Wow, you're watching StarCard Podcast. I'm happy to deliver these messages to you. So be inspired, be rejuvenated. This is like a good thing. You got a brand new love or life. It's part of your life plan. So be inspired. The Two of Pentacles says that maybe there's a multitasking going on. We're juggling more than one thing at a time here. And the Eight of Swords says, this is correct. The Eight of Swords is my card that says as much as you can imagine. So maybe you might have like two Aces of Cups or two cups because you have more than one thing that's bringing you all kinds of rejuvenation and inspiration. You know, as much as you can imagine, you never anticipated this. I mean, just to relate to a story I shared with a friend a long time ago, it's kind of like when you were in college and, you know, there was a couple of young men competing for your attention. Okay. How lovely, how wonderful. But this would not be competition. These are things that you can bring together. Did I say two things? What are these two things? Two things. Wow. So you have the Magician and the Knight of Swords over here, and the Two of Swords and the King of Pentacles over here. So the Two of Swords is at a crossroads, has to make a decision and is waiting for information about the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles, you are attracting wealth. You are in good business. You are good in business, grounded, stable, and a hard worker. Your hard work is paying off and you are reaching goals. You are seeing things through to the end and being proud of your achievements. You are enterprising, resourceful, principled, emotionally and financially secure. So you might have to make a decision to ensure that you're in the situation of the King of Pentacles, but not to worry because you're also a magician, getting the help from the Knight of Swords. And we'll read about the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords, you are ambitious and excellent at what you do, driven to success, and present great leadership qualities. You are ready to jump in and seize the moment. You are a risk taker, exciting, forward-thinking, and adventurous. Just be careful with being impulsive or impatient because it could lead to hasty decisions. You are not afraid to go against the flow. You are like a champion or a warrior charging into battle. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Here comes Ellum. She makes the magic happen. And she'll make the magic happen for you. Just give her all the information. She'll make everyone feel like the King of Pentacles because you yourself, you are the abundant new life. You roll into town with all the luck and rejuvenate the situation. You show everyone a different way of looking at things, even more than they could have imagined it. That's a little bit of a different take. Ellum, thanks for inviting me to read. I hope this was wonderful and fun and helpful. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Let's give these a toss. Next up, God's Flow. All right, God's Flow. Let me give these a toss and we'll get another deck going for you. Oh, you like old style, I think. I did like a quick count before I turned on the camera today. What do I have, like 11 tarot decks that I share with the group? Here we go. God's Flow. Let's throw you a few of these old style cards. Old Style by Alexander Ray. No relation. Sounds like a good guy. All right, Tarot World, way to go. You're the celebrity, Tarot World. These cards for God's Flow. Thanks, God's Flow, for watching our show. Here we go. These cards for God's Flow. A fun, inspirational message for God's Flow, please. God's Flow, I would like to mention, I don't know if you go to Rumble at all, but if you go to Typical Skeptic Podcast, that gentleman I was telling you about, Arkeem Ra, he did another interview with Rob Khalil recently, and I think it's only on Rumble. It's a good one. I mean, I like Arkeem Ra. He really brings authenticity to his presentations and the information that he shares. These cards for God's Flow. Let's have some fun. The Lover's card at the beginning of the sentence. Who am I supposed to cover up here? Okay, I think that they're all suitably modestly posed here. So the Lover's card talks about the power of two together, could talk about romance, but it also talks about, for me, as far as I'm concerned, from my perspective, at the very beginning of the sentence, the spirit world is sitting there right there with you. Like wherever you are, the spirit world's like sitting on on the chair across from you, and we're all watching the show together. Yay. I mean, how much verification would you like? Here is the Six of Swords. You're being guided from rougher waters to calmer waters by a divine hand. It may not feel that way, it may not look that way, but apparently that's what the world wants to say, according to these tarot cards. So the Five of Wands shows up. Nobody wants to hear this, and I don't like hearing it from myself either, God's flow. I mean, this is not the part that nobody wants to hear, but the Five of Wands guys, they argue no matter what. It's like a dance they do. These guys are ballet dancers. No one's going to get hurt when that guy falls down. This is all theater, dramatic blocking, okay? Fake fighting. It's just an exercise that they go through. And the Five of Wands talks about respecting other people's opinions. The other thing I want to say is that, the spirit world is right here with you. You're being guided by us. We're helping you out the whole time. Yeah, we guided you into all this conflict. Nobody wants to hear that. I mean, I'm just going with the things that I've learned. Of course, I don't know God's flow. I don't know your situation, God's flow. I don't know anything. And I've proven how many times I don't know anything. But what I'm trying to say is maybe there is a suggestion that this was part of the plan, that, even we all agreed to this before we came down. Now, that doesn't mean we made a good decision. Okay. I feel like if I planned my life out and I came down for some of the garbage I went through, I'm not sure I would have agreed to that. So anyway, if this is the case, again, the spirit world is giving you a warranty and a guarantee. They're not abandoning you. They know what the plan is. This is like the main issue or a main issue that you have to work with. Maybe you have 5 issues you have to work with. Okay, check it out. The Three of Wands encourages you to expand your consciousness. I barely need to elaborate on that, right, God's flow? Expand your consciousness. That's where the tools are. That's what the tools are you need to overcome. And it's time to do so, says the Wheel of Fortune. It's part of your life plan. It's fate. It's destiny. And by the way, as you do that, you should start to feel more lucky, perhaps. I hope so. So finally, look at these jolly old men. I want these guys on my offensive line. It's the Emperor and the King of Cups. I don't know God's flow. I'm sure a lot of us don't feel empowered, but these cards are saying power is yours. The Emperor is in control, and the King of Cups is not just a leader for leadership's sake. This guy is someone who cares about his subjects. He is empathic. He is resourceful, and he manages resources wisely. He's everybody's favorite leader. So these are a lot of promising cards. It really is a positive, uplifting message. And I want to say good luck, God's flow. Thank you very much for everything. So I'm going to give these a toss, and we're going to keep on rolling. I wonder how many decks I can throw today. Next up. Yeah, I'm going to go with Danny. Hey, Danny Hawk. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate all your comments and your participation. And I wonder what kind of cards Danny would like. I'm going to go back to the old style. Here we go, Danny. I might have to take a time out here if no one's in a rush. And since it's a recording, it doesn't matter, right? So I hope people don't mind being patient. I want to address God's flow's question. So God's flow, you texted appropriately, expand my consciousness. So I'm going to try to address it. And I also want to try to understand it myself. It involves involving the spirit world. I mean, you could use the word occult to go by that, or if you just want to use like old school Christianity, more praying to Jesus, discarding shadows, shining light on all the shadowy parts of yourself, lighting them up, studying them and setting them free. The devil card showed up many times today for everybody, letting go of the shadows, aiming for the light. But it takes, it's not just like, if I go to this government office and I appeal there, are they going to help me? No. If I go to my employer and I ask for their help, are they going to no? What about my friends and family? Are those people even going to understand what I'm talking about? Probably not. So who else is there? There's the spirit world. So, I mean, I don't want to go off on a gigantic tangent, but just doing what I'm doing now, it took me, some magic. I had to do some praying. I had to do some, introspection. I had to use tools I didn't normally use. I had to learn how to pray. I need to learn how to listen. I need to learn how to dream. And there's many books besides the self-help books like Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer. They have self-help videos. Besides all those things, there are, many books, that talk to you about employing spiritual strategies so that it makes it easier as you go through your regular day-to-day things. Not that I'm asking you to buy my book, but I know that even in the Convoluted Autobiography, if you go to the interview I did with Sean Bond, he introduced to me ways to invite the spirit world to help out and how to deal with spirits that are not in agreement with me. Anyway, I just wanted to explain my thought about expanding consciousness because it's nothing we can see. Did you see that card? The Three of Wands, guys, look it out. Did you see anything there? There's like nothing there, just miles and miles of openness. Well, there really is something there. Anyway, I'm going to go on to the next reading now. I hope I helped God's flow. Thank you very much. All right. So next up, Danny. Here we go, Danny. These cards are for Danny. Hey, Danny, this one popped out. It's the Two of Wands. Let's throw some more cards for Danny. Danny Hawk. Thanks for tuning in, Danny. So it's for entertainment purposes only, Danny, but check it out. You got the Two of Wands. He's the card that says you have a good plan. The universe likes your plan. You have the green light. Go. Let's see how the rest of these cards go. You have our friend, the King of Cups. Let's read about the King of Cups. The King of Cups. You are emotionally balanced, wise, compassionate, calm, and diplomatic. You are loyal, charming, and a good listener. You would make a great spiritual guide or a counselor. You have the balance between intellect and emotions and a deeper knowledge and awareness of yourself. I totally want to read that a second time, but I invite anyone who wants to hear that again to go back and press play again, rewind a little, okay? It's the Ace of Pentacles. All right, let's read about the Ace of Pentacles now. See the same cards showing up? I'm happy. These are great cards. And you know what else is interesting? Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, we're looking for Ace of Pentacles. The time is coming for you to manifest your goals, achieve your dreams, and realize your potential. Financial new beginnings, career or business opportunities, investments, savings, prosperity, and manifestation are coming your way. It couldn't happen to a better person, Danny. Oh, you got the blank card. That's where you get to fill in the blank. Hey, Breakaway Ray, what are you talking about? You fill in the blank. Yay, and then you also got the Three of Wands. Expansion. We'll read about the Three of Wands, but this is the card that says luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You know, you were all set to begin with, and you got there in a good way, ethically. You deserve this Ace of Pentacles. That's why the universe gave it to you. And you could fill in the blank any way you want. You know, you're entitled. Now, luck is where preparation meets opportunity. Here comes your chance. And the Ten of Swords says the hard times are over. And we were going to read about the Three of Wands. Luck is coming your way. You're ready for it. The hard times are over. Three of Wands, you are experiencing life, spreading your wings, seeking adventures. You might be moving abroad, trading overseas, or are involved in long-distance relationships and holiday romance. You are free, confident, moving forward, planning forward, and your hard work is paying off. That's right. The hard times are over. Good job. I bet that's a long story about how you got there. Okay. And then the Two of Wands says, you know what? Your plan is awesome. Keep going. Oh, thanks for tuning in to the Star Card. Why don't we read about the Star Card after, there we go. Let's read about the Star Card. I'm happy to. Yeah, you think the tarot world is helping me with advertising this morning? The Star Card. You are likely to find yourself feeling inspired. You have renewed hope and faith and a sense of being truly blessed by the universe. You are entering a peaceful, loving phase in your life filled with calm energy and personal growth. Yeah, sweet. That was a great reading, Danny. Go for it. Thanks for inviting me to read. I can't wait to hear about your successes. I'm going to give these a toss, and then Julia's up. Hey, Julia, I'm not sure which deck I should throw, and I think I'm going to go with Ethereal Bloom. Thanks for joining me, Julia. I know you're a busy person putting on a podcast and showing up in the chat of everybody else's podcast. Thanks a lot for making time for me. These cards are for Julia. You could catch Julia at the StarCard podcast playlist, John Whitberg Speaks. After all, I spoke with John Whitberg with Julia. She and I had a good time. Oh, yeah. And you'll see Julia also in Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot sightings, which we have going right now. Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot was in the chat a few minutes ago. Probably still there. Thanks for joining me. Can't wait to see you guys again. Here you go. And these cards are for Julia. And I just want to say, Julia's got a lot of subscribers, and she's known around the world. And that was before the days of auto dubbing, right? She did it old school. What we're going to consider the hard way. Way to go, Julia. Here we go. The Moon, mystery, illusion. Could anything represent your your content more on your podcast than the Moon? Well, maybe. But anyway, this talks about mystery, subconscious, the illusions, the Two of Wands. You have a good plan. The universe likes your plan. You have the green light. Go. Keep on bringing it. The Five of Swords. Oh, those guys again. All right. So these are the guys that disagree with everything, but I like the Ethereal Bloom. These people don't look like they're disagreeing. There doesn't look like there's any abuse in here. I mean, but that's the context of the Five of Swords. So I'm not even going to turn it upside down. You know, when we deal with those people, we go gray rock. We don't waste our time with them. We don't pay attention to things that bother us. If we're thinking about stuff for more than 90 seconds, there's something wrong with somebody else. It's not me, it's them. Okay? I can't worry about them. I got enough of me to worry about. Yo! So then they throw the Three of Swords at us. I know it's easy to ignore people when we don't have to pay attention to them. Well, why do people have to be such, they have to be so mean? You know what? I got to find a better way to create a boundary and protect myself. I don't need all these people triggering me all the time. Hey, Julia, I'm just like riffing. I'm speaking extemporaneously. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not saying that this is reading your mind. I'm just suggesting a train of thought. Whew. And again, the Knight of Swords shows up. What a wonderful, lovely image. Reminds me of Nebula from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but in a lighter version. So the Knight of Swords says to charge forward anyway and energetically because you got the sword of truth. So one more time, your content, it's awesome. You got to keep bringing it. Is it going to make some people upset? Probably. And when people are upset, do they create conflict? Probably. It doesn't matter. Not in the least. You're going to keep doing it because the Empress is not just a control card. It's a command card. And you are in the commanding position of the King of Pentacles. You're the one holding the shiny pentacle, and you're sitting comfortably, and you have abundance around you. So I suppose that this is what we want to embody. This is what we want on our minds for at least 51% of the time, because, you know, every day, you're becoming more and more the Empress because you got the King of Pentacles, as another aspect of you keeping it going. Everyone just sees, how glamorous you look, and no one saw all the hard work and the long time it took to get there. Hey, Julie, I hope that was a fun reading. Thank you very much. Oh no, is the sound going out? Can you guys hear me? Hey, if someone thinks that they can hear me, I'm not sure what I'm reading in the chat. I'm going to go to the next reading. Flixlove? Okay, thanks, Flixlove. Good, I got your message. You can hear me okay? Great. Well, Flixlove, did you ask for a particular deck? Okay, you did? Did you ask for one? I'm about to start shuffling old style. These cards are for Flixlove. All right, it's another chapter in the tarot throws for Flixlove. The tarot world's always trying to get us to aim high. Fly over the scene like we're a drone. We're silent and we can see the whole thing. We can even see, like those video games where you can see the place you have to get the points. That's where we want to go. We want to fly over it all so we can see that timeline better and make better choices. That top card wanted to come out. Here we go. I hope it's another fun, inspirational message. I know it's going to be another fun, inspirational message for Flixlove. Oh, did I throw too fast? Sorry, Flixlove. These cards are for you. Here we go. The Two of Swords. It's the Crossroads card. You might as well sit down and relax and wait. You don't have all the information yet, but you are ready to go. Maybe something's on the way, Flixlove. Yay. Is that a picture of you, the High Priestess? Let's read about the High Priestess because that goes along with consciousness expansion. I hope everyone's still tuning in while I read about the High Priestess. The High Priestess, you have hidden mysteries, spiritual insight, and divine knowledge. Now is the time to be still so you can tune into your intuition. You have the opportunity to access the knowledge deep within your soul. You hold the answers to the deep unknowns. Let what is hidden come to the surface. Trust your inner instincts to guide you. You got a decision to make? Go to your High Priestess self. Your intuition's going to guide you. And then the Knight in shining armor will appear. It's the Knight of Cups. I guess I should read about the Knight of Cups. Adorable card, Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups, you are romantic, charming, artistic, and imaginative. You are following your heart, taking action. You are diplomatic and tactful at work, peace-loving and a great negotiator. You are in love with love itself. Romantic proposals and attraction might happen to you, and you could be swept off your feet. I don't know. I don't think Flixlove can be swept off her feet. That doesn't sound like something that would happen. The Hanged Man shows up and says, take a look at things differently. And the Seven of Swords says that something is hidden or something's going to be revealed. So is there a decision to be made? Trust your instinct. There could be a little bit of a perk, a dream coming true, but it's still hidden. You have to look at it differently. What is it? Hidden in plain sight? Is it right in front of you? Sweet. Well, the Fool says you have a new beginning, and the Four of Wands is the homecoming card. You have a celebration coming your way. So this is good revelation, right? Because there's going to be a celebration and a new start here. All right, Flixlove. Thanks a lot for tuning in all the time. I really appreciate it. Yay. It is a long show today, isn't it, everybody? Here we go. All right, I've got two more left, and I do promise that these are going to be my last two. Yeah, you're welcome, Flixlove. Thank you for your message. I'm going to throw for Arizona Raven, and then I'm going to throw for Lisa Talcott, and then I'm going to close up because even I'm getting tuckered out. So let's throw for Arizona Raven. Hey, Arizona Raven, I'm going to go ahead and throw 3 cards from this pile. With the 88 gemstones. Could we please have 3 fun, inspirational cards for Arizona Raven? Thank you very much. These cards are for Arizona Raven. Arizona Raven. Here we go, Arizona Raven. The Hermit card, the Knight of Swords, and the 3 of Pentacles. Someone has higher knowledge. Someone has discovered this knowledge by experience. And meanwhile, look at this guy. The Knight of Swords wants to gallop forward. And both of these people are looking in different directions, but they're in the same scene. That's the same moon. So these 2 people look like they're in the same scene. One person's looking one way. One person's charging forward the other way. I bet this guy wants to say, hang on, wait. Don't go so fast. You don't know what's ahead. And this guy's saying, what are we waiting for? We already see there's nothing there. We can keep on going. And the 3 of Pentacles says that's the nature of working together as you're building something together. There's always a little tug of war. There's a little tug and pull, I should have said. I shouldn't have used the word war. A tug and a pull. But that's, I think you know this better than anyone. All relationships are like a compromise. Every single one of them. Are there any perfect relationships? You got to compromise a little bit of your energy, and they got to compromise a little bit of theirs. The best relationships are when they're all blended together, like a good rock band, like the rock band Rush, right? I know you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Arizona Raven, thanks for inviting me to read. I hope you like that one. All right, and now, next up, it's Lisa Talcott. Yeah, thank you very much, Lisa, for your message. Obviously, I didn't expect to come out today or yesterday. And so now I do want to remind everybody, I'll remind everyone again, if you're interested in a personal reading, maybe you'd like to spend more time with me, you can hit the description page and you could look up my email address, and then we could negotiate a donation so that, my time is compensated. I'd be happy to throw cards for you if you find it entertaining. And if it's, well, anyway, let's throw some cards now for Lisa while we're still having fun. I'm going to go back to this deck. Oh, Flixlove is right. Even the police, when they're infighting, Flixlove, yeah, the police. Who else is another rock? Well, the band Rush was like famously harmonious, I think. The Beatles, no, they had their issues. I don't blame it all on Yoko at all. Anyway, yeah, you're right, Flixlove. Anyway, let's focus. Breakaway Ray. Lisa Talcott has invited you to read. Did you ask for a particular... You asked for foil last time, Lisa. Kiss? Was Kiss harmonious? I hope so. You too, harmonious? Absolutely. Right on, Flixlove. Bruce Springsteen? Oh, yeah. I'm going to throw for Lisa, but I got to get this joke out of my system. So I was watching an old Johnny Carson rerun, and he was talking about how he met Bruce Springsteen, the rock singer Bruce Springsteen. And he said, this is what Johnny Carson said about Bruce Springsteen. Very nice man, soft-spoken man, well-spoken, nice person. Just don't ask him where he was born. All right, so now let's go back to Lisa Talcott. I got to finish the show anyway. These cards are for Lisa Talcott. Thank you, Lisa Talcott. Glad you have a good time. You must be one of the few people who watches StarCard Podcast, and you watch like the whole show all the time when you can tune in. That's awesome. Thanks a lot. These cards for Lisa Talcott. Here we go. Let's get them in order here. Put every card in its proper place for Lisa Talcott. All right. Oh, wait. And then we cue the music to the Harlem Globetrotters, Sweet Georgia Brown. And we move the cards around for Lisa Talcott here. Here we go. Thank you, Metalark. I wish I could remember more Globetrotter names. Curly Neal, first long shot taker. The King of Swords, filled with truth and authority and mental clarity. The Knight of Cups, the romantic knight in shining armor guy. That's nice, where you can be headstrong and mentally clear and then still be filled with emotion and love at the same time. They're both blending in together there. The Six of Swords, we're being guided to calmer waters from rougher waters by a divine hand. And the Tower card says that it's guiding us right to the tower where things are going to crash down. Looks like that tower's about to get hit by a bunch of tidal waves. Is that what's going on? And a lightning strike? Wow, check out that card. So you had the mental clarity, you had the appropriate amount of emotion, and now understand that the spirit world is ready to guide you to break away from something that doesn't serve you anymore. You got the Five of Wands guys doing their little dance of disagreement. We're going to respect each other's opinions. We got the Ace of Pentacles. We got a new project, a new opportunity. The universe has given us a new start. And the Three of Wands, well, is that the theme for today? Expansion card. A lot of us think about expansion. You know, I'd like to get a higher paying job. I'd like to have a nicer place to live. I'd like to have more friends. The Three of Wands today is pretty much saying you need to turn off the TV and go meditate because you have magical powers you haven't even tapped into yet. There's your Ace of Pentacles with that. So ignore these guys. You need to go meditate. Yeah, we know you're going to do that. All right, I'm just putting that on the side. Okay, there you go, Lisa Talcott. I hope you had a good reading. Thank you very much. So, hey, Jason, I just saw that you tune in. Missing Time 420. Live long and prosper. You're welcome, Lisa. And Jason, if you wanted a reading, drop it in now before I turn off the camera. So now I'd like to close by saying, I'm not going to campaign for donations. I've only talked about donations this week, right? I just want people to know that there is a donation button in the description, and there's a donation button at StarCard Podcast. If you go to the description there's some links to the books and a donation button. But you couldn't pay me enough for the good time that we had this morning, right? And it gets to live forever on video until YouTube gets wise to me and takes down my channel. So let's see. I don't see any requests, so I'm going to sign off for now. Thanks for making my day. I'm Breakaway Ray. Go get them, everybody. All right.